Hey guys, Jeremy here with Simple Life. Welcome to another installment of Tool Time Tuesday. All right, we're gonna cut out the intro music because I don't think intros are really a thing on YouTube anymore, but I would like to share with you a little tool, a vise, that I've been using in my shop for about 6 months and have really come to enjoy it. This is the PANAVISE 301 with the tray or base plate, which is a product number called 312. This right here, these things, is kind of one unit. This here is a separate. You see you've got 3 tapped holes on the bottom. They match with the 3 mounting holes. And you could mount this thing independent of the base plate. You could just mount this straight to your workbench. But I like the base plate because it's got these rubber feet on here and it really works good for just having a vise that I can move around for different light duty jobs. Now, what would you use this thing for? What do I use this thing for? First of all, when I think about this vise, I think of it as something along a fly tying vise. Essentially, it's just another set of hands. We've got these jaws in here. These are plastic jaws. They screw in. You could obviously machine your own. Now these ones don't have any grooves in them for holding cylindrical stock or anything like that. Just flat jaws. The nice plastic on them is great. If I've got a finished knife handle, I'm not too concerned about marring it up. And this thing opens up to about this wide. It's a little floppy towards the edge here, so keep that in mind. Ideally, I would say probably up to 2 inches, but just for kicks, where's the tape measure? Can't find a tape measure. So we've got 2.5 inches right there, or 63 millimeters. What I use this thing mostly for is for clamping knife handles when I'm gonna tape them for putting Kydex sheaths on, or if I'm gonna sharpen a blade and I wanna put some tape over the majority of that bevel of that knife so that I don't scratch it in the sharpening process. This thing works fantastic for that. I can loosen this up here. I can loosen this off and this thing will swivel like this, Put my knife in here, tighten it up, and it is surprisingly good at staying in place. Now there are a lot of small vices on the market and a lot of them require that you either suction them to your table or you can clamp them to the side. I like this one because of these little rubber, little dobby noober daubers on the bottom, and it actually does a pretty good job at staying put for the light duty work that I do. If you're doing knife assembly stuff, this base has these great little pockets here that you can use to store little parts, knickknacks, whatnot, and stuff and such, and things of this nature. Also has some extra threaded holes here. I'm not sure why you'd use those, but you could. And again, this is not a vise that you use for manipulating, twisting, tapping, all the heavy duty stuff that you use a bench mounted vise for. But for the light duty work, this works fantastic. I've even used this for doing different TIG welding projects. And when I was looking at this on Amazon, I noticed this little guy. This is Junior, the 201. Isn't it cute? Same idea. We've got a little ball joint in here that can be locked, swivels as you wish. It has the same hole pattern, 1, 2, 3, so it could be mounted onto this base plate. But these jaws are plastic. They do have different grooves in here in different positions, as you can see right there. And I actually use this one for different TIG welding projects. If I needed to weld this straight up and down, set my rod in there, clamp it in, weld away. Get a little crazy with my welds. Slick as a whistling Dixie. There are many use cases for small little vices around the shop. Think electronics, you know, if you do RC cars, lighter, smaller hobbies. These things can be pretty handy. These PANAVISEs are made in the United States of America. In fact, they are made in Reno, Nevada, would you believe? Not super expensive. Sometimes they are hard to get a hold of as they go out of stock on Amazon a lot, but I will put a link in the description in case you're interested in this. But again, this is something that I've been using for about 6 months. And what I find is that I leave this thing out on my workbench in general. And so many times I'll be in the middle of a one-off thing or I've got some little project I need to do. I'm amazed at how many times, if this is kind of sitting out, I'll be like, okay, how am I gonna hold this PANAVISE? I actually even use this as a camera mount sometimes, just to make sure I can get the shot. As far as knife making, if you're related to that, I use this several times per week. And for things, especially the little things like clamping off blades. You know, if you have your bench vise that's mounted and you clamp your blade like this, stand by. So as a for instance, if I had my normal bench vise, I clamp the blade like this. Well, this blade doesn't have a perfectly even handle, as most knives don't, and so I don't get a good purchase on there. The ability for this to swivel and go like that allows me to be able to put that in there, tape it off, do what I need to do, and it is just really, really handy. Well, there you go, the PANAVISE 301 standard vise with the 312 base plate, and and just for kicks, the 201 Junior. I just thought I'd share this because you may see these things and be like, you know what, I've had this process that I do, and this little vise is gonna speed that up, it's gonna make it easier, more repeatable, and make my life easier. And ultimately, that's what tools are for. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.